This is Mark Joyner, and in today's episode of Marketing Miracles, Nick Thakorlal is going to show you how he took a loser funnel and turned it into a funnel that was churning 4% conversion on a $10,000 to $15,000 product.
All right.
And the intro reel is supposed to start.
All right.
You know, that intro reel has never gone right on the show yet. You think that the one technical thing that we've got to get right, we'd get right. Nick, good to see you, buddy. Yeah. All right. So listen, we're going to dive right into this. So Nick, it's basically two segments. You want to hear the story of what you did and then break down for people exactly the steps required so that they can reproduce this on their own.
Sure. Okay, so this the background is got a client who ended up using LeadsHook, which is the software company that I run. Allows you to make decision trees. They're like quizzes on steroids. And he was like, "Hey, I'm getting leads, but I'm not able to make a profit on it." And I had a look, and it was a very simple funnel that they had: add, quiz, and then a thank you page, and then the client was going for a medical service, which was a $10,000 to $15,000 medical procedure. A cosmetic medical procedure. And so he said the numbers aren't quite working out. So when I had a look, I said, well, how many people do you know that will see a Facebook ad and want to go and rush off to the doctor and get themselves operated on? Yes, sure, maybe a small percentage of the market, but the bulk of the market is not going to do that. They need to maybe consider the cost, the long-term impacts of the health procedure, side effects, yada, 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 all that sort of stuff. I said, you need to address that before you send them off to the doctor or to the medical practice, because they're not going to be able to do the conversions. And essentially, that's what this is about. So what I'll do is I'll just share a quick a slide here. If you can pull that up.
Certainly can.
Yep. All right. No, not that. Slideshow. Right. Yeah. So that's the diagram which I wanted to share. Hopefully, they can see this. It's essentially seeing your market segments, which is each one of these dots, in almost a 3D diagram here, and it's a bit abstract. So where we've got Gene Schwartz, market sophistication and product awareness at the bottom here, but also who they are and what they've seen in the past and all that sort of stuff. It allows you to kind of almost see each person that you want to sell to, or groups of people across in a 3D space, basically. And so when you're running an ad, you're getting elements of sort of, I'm not going to say across the entire spectrum, but you tend to get people within a certain category, and learning who they are and where they are in the buying continuum allows you to sort of work out what to say to them next. So that essentially is what we did for this specific campaign, is understanding this first and foremost, which is kind of like the foundational part of all of marketing, this is all we're trying to do in every business.
I just want to interject here really quick for people who haven't read Breakthrough Advertising. You really need to read that and understand it. When I was first introduced to it, I did not get it. It took me several reads before I finally understood it. When you get to a first level of basic understanding of how important that book is, most people understand the audience awareness scale, but hardly anybody talks about the audience sophistication scale. And Nick has taken both of those and put it on a 3D graph here. This is some really beautiful stuff. If you don't understand how profound what Nick has done here is, read Breakthrough Advertising about 4 or 5 times, and it'll kick in. Nick, go ahead.
All right, awesome. And so this is where the kind of like our action steps. So what do we do? So ask a question to better understand where someone is in the buying continuum, as in where they are in this space. And then the simplest way to do that is to give them a lead score. And I'll show you a quick example very shortly. You pass the lead score to your marketing automation system, which is where you set up your automations, things like, hey, this person has scored very, very low. So therefore, they're kind of like in the bottom of this diagram here. We need to sort of move them up before they get actually hot, or the urgency is not there. So we need to educate them to urgency. Some may already be hot for your product, in which case you give them the offer immediately or within 1 or 2 interactions, while others you may want to interact with them over many days, weeks, or months. And so that's what I mean by passing of the lead score. But you also want to add to their lead score based on how they act to the various things that you send using your marketing automation. Such as if I send an email, open it, I may give you, 1 point. If you click the link, I may give you 5 points. If you respond to a phone call, then it's 10 points. And at a specific point in time, your score reaches a certain threshold, and at that point, you present the offer. So I'll kind of share that very quickly about what we did. And that's the nurture that I'm talking about here, where you nurture them over a longer period. But we actually had moved them to a long nurture. By long nurture, I'm talking about we continue to message you over many, many weeks and days, and we just track your score. There's a better diagram here, which is this one here. So I have traffic. For some reason, it's not displaying too well here. Apologies for the cutoff here. Based on how you answer the questions, we want to set you up into your different where you are in your level of product awareness. So let's say, for example, if your sophistication is very low and you're also very unaware, you'll end up over here. Someone whose sophistication is quite high, or someone who's very aware, is struggling with it, and they've indicated to you that they really want to buy the product now, then you would make an offer to them immediately, while everybody else kind of waits in line until they're ready to see the offer. So the goal here was, let's not present an offer just because we got the lead. Let's present an offer when they are ready at their own time. And because these automations can go for weeks, days, or months even, someone may reach that offer stage 3 weeks from now, someone may reach 2 days from now, someone may reach that stage 6 months from now. And as soon as someone gets beyond a certain stage, you automatically graduate them to the next sequence and the next sequence and the next sequence. So you may say 0 to 30 points ends up here, 30 to 60 ends up here, and then finally when they get over 120 points or whatever it is, they'll end up seeing the offer. So, you can do it any way you want. You don't have to have these 5 stages like I've shown here. It can be 1 stage, can be 2 stage, can be I'll have some words on implementation very, very shortly. But the 2 types of questions that you want to ask that tells you where someone sits in your sort of your space or your buying continuum. The first one is the relationship with the problem type question, which is how many times have you attempted to solve this problem? You may ask a question. I've tried to solve this thing at least five times previously. So I have tried at least 5 different diets. How many people have you tried to hire? If it's a hiring problem, please select the following that applies to you. You could have a bunch of problems or things that they aspire to have, something I need help with. So those sort of things, and you let them select, and that tells you how important is this problem for them. Someone who tells you that this problem is urgent for them to solve, then you can give them a higher lead score. Someone who does not associate the problem yet.
Sorry to interject, Nick. 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning. Go ahead.
Done. All right. And then the second question was the desired future self. If it's a weight loss program, then it would be losing 20 kilos would mean what? And you ask them to select that. Getting extra bit of money every month. What does that mean to you? So you are getting the emotional side of that, and that tells you once again how important is this problem and how are they associating themselves with that future self, and what is the future self. How to apply this? The easiest way to do it is on your thank you page. Ask these one of these 2 questions, and that is basically the end of the slides. So we can roll back to just us. And that's in a nutshell is what it is. Yeah. So 4 easy steps. Thank you page is the best place to put this on because they've just converted. It starts giving you some data. That data starts telling you immediately what you should do. You may be changing your ads, maybe redoing your funnel, changing the headline. It educates you on what are the motivations that were used to that people had to buy your product.
This is a topic where I would love to talk with you about 4 or 5 hours because I have so many questions. On that note, I want to let everybody know, if you guys go to leadshook.com/Mark Joyner, you can start a trial of LeadsHook. Nick will personally spend 45 minutes with you if you go start your trial at /Mark Joyner. Let me explain this to you guys. Most of us just assume that people are consuming all of the things that we have in our marketing pipeline. And of course they're not, because you don't consume all of the stuff that you get in various marketing pipelines, of which you are a particular member. Nick has very geniusly structured a system that will allow you to not only know whether or not people are doing that, but give them a score and communicate with them accordingly. This is going to get your marketing to be far, far, far more effective. This is how Nick got 4% cold traffic to close on a $10,000 to $15,000 product, which is just absolutely extraordinary. Nick, thank you so much, man.
Hey, no problem. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on. See you on Inside Leads, guys. Bye.